Welcome to my channel, Created to Seek, where we do a lot of DIY projects around the house, stuff out in the wilderness, whether it's camping or fishing or other activities, and then, we do some RV camping as well. If you're brand new to the channel, thank you for coming on and watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Be super stoked if you did that, or leave a like and a comment after the video after you see exactly what happens. So we're going to be working on putting in a brand new sidewalk. You see what's blurred out behind me right now, so you'll get to see that here at the end, the finished product. But we're going to be reviewing a new product, not so new to the market, but one that's new to us. We went ahead and purchased one to do some concrete work. So it's called the MudMixer. We'll be doing that review. You'll get to see it working throughout the video and everything, and what it's actually going to be like using that. So you don't have to use the wheelbarrow, the buckets of water, the old-fashioned, or I say old-fashioned, but the regular just barrel turn style concrete mixers. This one's going to be ready to go mix. Super stoked to share that with you guys. If you're into DIY projects, get ready, because I'm fixing to take you through the walkthrough of this entire project from start to finish. And man, am I excited for y'all to be able to see that. So sit tight and enjoy the ride. All right, so what you see here is we're getting the forms ready. We start up near the carport there, and we are just getting our first measurements down and out of the way. You can actually see where the pavers used to be. So we had a bunch of 12 by 12 inch thick pavers there that created a big flat spot for us to start forming around. You'll also see where we have some of that water sitting there. It had rained probably 5 days prior to this, and we still had standing water there. So we'll be taking care of that here in a little while. But getting our forms square, getting them right, we're only setting them up with 2 or 3 stakes in the ground. You'll actually see us come back a little bit later, add some additional stakes to them to help support the concrete. And as we're going to the back patio here, you'll see we'll have to attach a couple of those form boards together. Now, you might notice that my little daughter there, her name's Mavis, she is just trucking around. She wants to help any way that she can. So she's been staking in some of the extra stakes for us and helping with that project. So we're transitioning now over into putting the gravel down. So just picked up some bags from our local corner market and just dumping those bags out, and we'll start spreading them around with our feet. And Mavis, of course, is using the rake. And after we get done spreading this around, we start the tamping process. We actually made a little sump pit over there by where Mavis is standing now that pumped that water out. And as you can see, the next day comes along and it's pretty dry, but we throw some lime in there anyways. Go ahead and take some more gravel, spread it out, and then start tamping it down, and that lime should dry everything up. Hey everybody, so just wanted to pause the video so you can see exactly what we're working with. So this is the MudMixer. This is a great product. It takes a lot of the manual labor out of actually having to mix concrete on your own if you do a smaller job that doesn't need a full truck, or if you're in a rural area like where we are currently, where delivery is just outrageous. So this little device is crucial to doing small projects out here, and it's a huge cost savers. So right now, if you look at for this online, you can get it like a Home Depot or Lowe's for around $3,500 before taxes. But yeah, this is the MudMixer. What's nice about this is that we have a couple different attachments that I'd like to show you, and then show you some of the functions that it does. So just stick around and we'll get to that. So one of the great functions about this MudMixer here is its ability to be super versatile, right? So you can see we had the spout going out the front side there, but that doesn't have to be your front side. So if you actually pull up on this pin and you turn, it has a couple different locking positions. So as you can see, I could 90 degree it over there. I could also, instead of facing it that way, I can fully turn it back around this direction, and it is now locked into place facing that way. So if I want to just stay along one side and I don't want to have to keep moving it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth down the edge of a sidewalk, I'm able to turn it like this and just walk it down. So that is one of the great features about this MudMixer here. One of the other things that's a great feature about this is you're like, how am I gonna deal with the water, right? So they make it plain and simple. You hook the water up here at this spout, and hooking it up here allows you to not only have an auxiliary water source, but this feeds the system. And once you adjust this gauge to the flow that you want for your concrete mix, if you want it more wet, if you want it less wet, heavier, whatever, you can adjust this here, and then it controls how much water goes through these two mixing at the back of the auger. So the auger's feeding the material down through the chute, and the water's coming in here. So it's a great system. There's no guesswork. Basically, you set it and forget it. Now, I will say that when we use this, one of the things that we found was that if your incline changes, your water is going to change. So sometimes it'll pull more towards the back, or it'll run more through the material depending on how you have the elevation front to rear. So this here, it's great when it's super level, very easy, but sometimes you might have to adjust it now and then. So if you actually look at this, you'll actually see that it has clips here that are able to come up, and it's clipped on 3 sides. And what we've actually purchased is the extension piece here. So all we have to do is unhook these clips here, and then voila. Now you're like, I thought that that looked larger than what was in the store. And you're right, because we added on that extension to the chute here to allow us to put more bags in. Really, we can get 3 to 4 80-pound bags in this at one time when we have that chute, opposed to the 1 to 2 bags that you can get when you have this regular chute here. They're great because they have a bag piercer, right? So you just plop the bag down on top, and then it rips it. You bend the two edges up, and it's going down. It also has, everything falls down in there. It has a grate here to stop it. And then you can see that the top one here, same way. So another additional piece that you can add to this is a spout extension. It takes a little bit of additional work, right? So we can take off our upper guard for our auger. And what we would do is take this bolt out that's right here. Once that bolt comes out, we'll take this bolt out. It's held in with the cotter pin. You link them up, and you have now an additional 18 inches to your chute. Now what that allows you to do is get to those hard to reach places, or if you have a larger pad and you're still trying to do everything from the outside and not have to pull as much concrete, this will allow you to reach those spots much easier. Now, I will say that when you're using this, you want to make sure that it stays clean. So what we did, we constantly kept it clean. You'll see throughout the video that we're spraying it down, spraying it down, spraying it down. Just making sure a lot of stuff doesn't bind up on here, because if you've dealt with concrete before and you've gotten it stuck, you know it's a bear to get detached. So that's all and great, but now let's ask the question, how's this sucker work? Well, it's very simple. It has a stop, which is the center position here. Then if you reverse, you can see that the switch will not stay in that position. It allows you to reverse the auger in case anything got stuck. And then when you press forward, it just constantly keeps moving, and that allows this to remain in the forward position until you're done. Now, it does have general operating instructions here. I recommend that you follow them to the T. So another great thing about this is you're like, man, that machine. It's got to take some high electricity usage, something like that. Well, not really. This is a 110 or 120, whatever, however you want to say it, with its own built-in GFCI. So in case anything happens, this can trip so it doesn't trip your breaker or anything in the house, and it keeps it isolated to the machine, which is very, very convenient. Now, when we talk about ease of movement with this thing, even with a little bit of weight in it from concrete, is not bad to move. These big wheels here allow you to move easily. They're hard wheels, so they don't get bogged down like air would or anything else like that. So just with a simple lift and go, you can see this is pretty darn easy to move. Now, we do have a cover over top of our motor. We try to keep all water away from this, especially when it's on, as instructed on the label here. So in closing, all I want to say is that when you get the chance to operate one of these, I suggest you try it. See the difference that you have from the older methods to this new style, and see if it's cost effective for you. For our project here, it saved us thousands of dollars. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good bit on what it took for the concrete, what it took to purchase this. We've got multiple projects planned for this first sidewalk project. That is just the beginning. We've got a patio addition on this house. On our house over there, we've got an addition around the rear patio that we want to add, some curbs and other things that you don't need a big truck for. So would I recommend using this? Yes, I think this is great for DIYers. It takes a little bit more labor with the bags getting carried. Would I suggest getting lighter bags? Because those 80-pound bags, they get heavy after a while. I will say that. I had to move them from one area to another. It was pretty tough, but got the work done. Some of the pros and cons that I have with this unit. Pros: quick, easy, you set it up and you're going as long as you have the bags of concrete here. It's very safe, so plenty of guarding all around it, and honestly the guarding doesn't inhibit it at all. So if it did inhibit it, then that would be an issue, but it doesn't hurt it at all. The water control is really, really nice, and then the ability to turn this thing 180 and have 3 different positions and multiple positions is pretty cool. The downsides to it, like I said, the leveling, that's pretty tough. If it's not 100% level, you're going to continually have to adjust the water to get it to the right spot if you're moving this a lot. The height, I will say this addition is nice, but when you've got the 80-pound bags and you're trying to lift them up and smash them on there, that's a little bit more tough. But again, just get 40-pound or 60-pound bags and it'll be a lot easier. The rotation, the simple to use, I would recommend this. So we'll go ahead and get back to the video and finish up. All right, so we're setting up the tent so we're not baking in the hot Louisiana sun as we're about to start laying the concrete. First, what we go ahead and do and start throwing some pavers, some of the old pavers down. And you see my daughter there just smashing them up into pieces. Those are going to be our chairs for our mesh that we're going to put in over top of the gravel to give our concrete a little bit more support. This sidewalk's not going to be bearing a whole lot of weight, but it's still important to keep it structurally sound and that it's not going to crack and expand or anything like that that would be unsightly. So now we're getting the MudMixer going. We've added in a couple of bags and it's already coming out. We're adjusting the water, trying to get the ratio of the mud correct and what we want. So you can see there we screed it and we're mating it to the already existing patio. We move it down and we just keep on pumping bags and bags and bags into this thing. You can see how quickly it's coming along. Like I said earlier in the video, this entire pour really went from about 1:30 until about 7:30, and we spent a couple hours setting up the forms and throwing the gravel and stuff down. So really it was about 8-hour job in total, which is really nice. But you can see here we're just pouring a bunch of concrete with this thing, and it's easy to move around. We move the tent just so we can work in the shade a little bit, and then we just keep on going. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll actually see that we did have to level it out a little bit, the mud mixer, with a couple of patio stones. It just helped us keep the same consistent water flow over and over and over again. Um, so we did have to deal with that. Now, there is a reason why I didn't have the mud mixer rotated 90 degrees to be able to move it a little bit easier, and that was just because of the positioning I had to take to drop the bags in. Now we've got everything moved over to the opposite side. You'll see Dad there and Mavis, they're starting to finish it out and get the edging done along that 18-foot section. But I'll say this, my daughter moves concrete with the best of them, moving concrete back and forth, and she is just eager to be a part of this project. So we're walking about 25 feet, bringing those bags over there. That's probably the most difficult part about this whole job, was having to move those bags so frequently. You might have seen there that we went ahead and sprayed the mixer off. Like I said, we want to frequently spray the mixer down to make sure nothing's getting stuck or adhered to the outside. Keeping it clean, keeping it functioning well is very important for the lifespan of this unit. Now we went ahead and got our old handy dandy spud bar to make sure that all the mesh stayed down inside the concrete and didn't come up to the surface. And you can see Mavis is right back at it, ready to move some more mud. So this section, of course, is going to take significantly longer than the previous section, just because this is sitting right at about 5 foot wide and it's much longer. But still, as long as we're keeping the consistency of the mud the same, it works very well for us. So here you might see it a little bit wetter, and that's just because of the pitch of the machine. And also, we wanted to do it just a little bit wetter than what we had been doing it before, because we were mating it over to this 18-foot section, and we wanted to make sure that it would come together well, since that had some time to dry and set up already. You can see our head deacon at our church came over to help. At this point, my arms were cramped up. It was a 95, 96-degree day in northern Louisiana, and I needed some help carrying and moving bags. He is a great guy. His name is Guthrie, and I'll tell you what, he not only is he our head deacon, but he will give you the shirt off of his back. He truly did come through clutch here at the end, and I was so grateful that he showed up. So now we're just putting everything in the back corner there, getting it filled in the rest of the way. You can see that auxiliary hose has come in handy so much already, just having something to just spray yourself off with, or spray some tools off with, or clean the trowel off with, whatever it is. That auxiliary hose helps out a lot. So you'll see we get to finishing the edging there, getting rid of some of that extra concrete that we had left over. We'll start edging, and then Dad's flattening everything out with the big trowel. And you'll actually see down there in the corner where Mavis's hand was. Dad will have to go back over that because I accidentally messed it up. But yeah, he gets it fixed, repaired, and looking good, and it's ready to dry. Now, I am no pro. This is my first time really laying concrete, besides putting in a mailbox or some kind of post for fencing or anything like that, actually having to lay this concrete. Now, this is our finished product. Extremely happy with it. My mom and dad are extremely happy because this whole project was to make sure that my parents could get to their shed here, to be able to get my mom's scooter in and out. Before we had pavers, and now all those pavers are gone, and they were uneven, and when it flooded back here, you couldn't get to it. Now, real easy access all the way from the carport all the way down to the shed. So very excited about that. Mostly excited about this portion right here, this 18-foot section. It was the first initial part that we did, and it was the straightest part that we did. So when we're looking at it, fairly straight. Like I said, we're not finishers, so there is a little bit of texture here, but this came out very well. We've got some dirt on here and other things from the past rains. This section here, a little bit wider. One thing that I would do differently is along these edges here, I wouldn't have used plywood. I should have used either 2x4s or 2x6s along this section here. Mainly because once we put 4 to 4.5 inches worth of concrete in, it started to push it out, and we should have had more stakes on it. Now you can tell that the finish is a little bit off, but the overall condition, it is hardened well. We were able to edge everything well. My daughter was even able to put her handprint in here, so it'll be here for a while. If you're even able to rent one of these MudMixers, I would say take the chance. Spend a couple $100 to be able to do it. Get your friends or brothers or fathers or whoever, uncles, nephews, whoever, to come over and help, because it will make a pretty easy day's work when you have 3-4 people to do a sidewalk project. Unfortunately, we aren't able to get anything like that here in my area. I would have had to drive all the way down to Baton Rouge to be able to find one, and that's like a 3.5-hour drive for me. So no thanks. Glad that we were able to purchase one and that we're going to have it around for a long time. Well, I hope you all liked this video. It was a really fun DIY project. If you did like it, please go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and click subscribe. It really helps us out. We're just trying to get some of this DIY content out there, along with other content involving, primitive camping, RV camping, just different adventures, just around the house and away from the house. So thank you all again, and all I've got to say is God bless you.